Hello, everyone. This is part three of chapter number 8, and probably the last part. So, on your slide, I stopped here in part 2, deriving the supply curve. So, what I'm going to do in this slide, I'm going to derive the supply curve for a specific firm, not industry, for the specific firm. Once I have a supply curve of one firm, then I'll add these all these supply curves for all these firms horizontally to get industry supply curve. So notice in this diagram, I have drawn marginal cost curve. The portion of the marginal cost curve that lies below the average variable cost, it doesn't matter whether it is increasing or decreasing. So any part that lies below the average variable cost is irrelevant. Why? Because I told you that when price is less than average variable cost, production will be zero. That is, farm will shut its business down. So that is a shutdown point. So there's no production. For example, if you take the same diagram, and if I ask you, just give me a sec, let me fix this font size of my pen. Just give me a minute. Okay, so if you notice here, let's consider 25. So suppose price is 25. Okay. By price 25, I mean that the demand curve that this specific firm is facing is a horizontal line at 25. So if you want to be more accurate, I can draw a line like this. So this is a demand curve, marginal revenue curve, average revenue curve, or demand curve, all the same. Okay. And you can see that I told you that production will be at a point where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, or price equal marginal cost. Why price? Because price is equal to marginal revenue. So you can see when price is 25, this farm will supply at the marginal cost curve 5 units of output. Now suppose price increases. Price increases, let's say, from 25 to 35. See what happens. Now you have a demand curve here at 35. So this 35 line will intersect marginal cost curve here, which correspond to this level of output, 6. So see what I'm saying? That is, when price increases from 25 to 35, quantity supplied increases from 5 units to 6 units, and both points 6, 5 units and 6 units lie on this marginal cost curve. Now, take another example. If price is, let's assume $15. So price means price is like this. This is the price line. But it intersects marginal cost curve somewhere here. But notice at this point, at this price, average variable cost is very high. So price is less than average variable cost, which is a shutdown point. Shutdown point means that this firm will not produce 3. This firm will produce 0 level of output. So if you know this, then let me clear these annotations. If you know this, then you can see that the portion of the marginal cost curve that lies above the average variable cost is nothing but the supply curve for one individual firm. And notice that is represented as a dark green line that it is starting above the average variable cost. So this curve, this supply curve is basically this marginal cost curve is basically the supply curve. So let me define the supply curve. So the firm supply curve is the portion of its marginal cost curve that lies above its average variable cost. So that is the supply curve of a firm operating under perfectly competitive market structure. So now, once again, I'm drawing the diagram for a firm and industry, but this time, reason unbeknownst to me why this is done in this fashion. Now I have drawn the firms diagram to the left hand side and industry diagram to the right hand side. So notice here in this diagram, the total supply for the whole industry is the derived, oh sorry, is not derived, is derived by adding up the supplies of each individual producers. So this is one supply curve, and I will add all these supply curve for different firms. Suppose there are 100 firms, so I will have 100 marginal cost curve like this. I will add all of them horizontally. What is the meaning of horizontal? Horizontal means that suppose if this is 6 units, okay, and suppose there are 5 firms. So at 25, or sorry, at 35, the total supply would be for one firm is 6, for 5 firm 30. So I just added 30. So I shift the supply curve to the right. So at 25, now the new supply curve would be here. That will give you 30. This is 10, although. So I can show you here. So let me erase this and then ask you a question and then answer, of course. In this diagram, see what is happening. One firm, one typical firm that is drawn here, this firm, is selling 6 units. At what price? At 35 price. Now look at this diagram, industry diagram. At $35, same price, the total supply is 600. What does this mean? It simply means that there are 100 firms in this industry. How do I know? Because I know that each firm at 35 is selling 6 units, so there must be 100 firms. That is why 100 times 6 is 600. So at 35, 600 units will be supplied. Why I kept saying horizontally addition of the supply curve? Because we are adding variable on the horizontal axis. We are not adding prices. We are not saying 45 plus 35 plus 25. We are not adding prices. At each price, we add all quantity supplied by each firm, and then we write like here. And similarly, we have this supply curve. Remember, this supply curve is the sum of all marginal cost curve for all firms. So suppose there are 100 firms, so I write I equal to 1 to 100. So I equal to 1 to 100 for 100 firm. I added all marginal cost curves. Not complete marginal cost curve, only that portion of the marginal cost curve that lies above the average variable cost. Okay. Now, once you know this, then I'm going to discuss the difference between short run and long run, first thing. And then I will show you how, what will happen if a firm is earning profit or incurring a loss in the long run. So I'm not going to show you this diagram on this slide. I'm going to draw diagrams on a separate piece of paper. So let me share that blank sheet with you, and then I will discuss this topic. So just give me a sec. Let me. Okay. Now, so far what we have done, so far we talked about all 4 market structures, though briefly. Then we talked about the characteristics of a perfectly competitive market structure. And then we showed that each firm will produce at a point where price equal to marginal cost. And then profit will be determined by comparing price and average total cost. And then the firm will decide whether, if a firm is incurring losses, decide whether it should continue to produce and should incur losses, or should shut its business down, right? Which will depend on average variable cost. Then we derive the supply curve of each firm, and then we added all those supply curves horizontally to get the whole industry supply curve. Now, what I'm going to do, I will draw a diagram on this on your screen, showing that a firm is earning a profit. Okay, and I'm going to draw 2 diagrams, one with a firm and one with the industry. So basically industry diagram and one typical firm diagram. So on the left hand side, I will draw a diagram for a specific firm. Okay, and for the right hand side, this is the industry. So in your textbook, it doesn't make any difference, but I normally prefer writing capital Q as an industry output and a small q as a farm's output, right? So if one farm is producing 5 units and there are 100 farms, it means 500 units will be produced. So Q equal to 500, capital Q, whole industry output. A small q equal to 5, one farm's level of production. Okay. So now first I draw the whole industry demand curve, downward sloping demand curve, and then whole industry supply curve, which is nothing but the summation of all marginal cost curve for all those firms. And I find the equilibrium quantity here and equilibrium price here. Let's say price is $20. Just for example, $20. Why not write numbers here so that it's much easier? Let's say this is $600. Okay. So right now I can read this industry diagram. Let me write industry so that you don't get confused. This is industry diagram. And this is farm diagram. One farm. Right now I don't know how many farms in this market. Now see what happens if, so this $20 price will be taken by each farm as given. So these farms are so small and they're producing identical product. Therefore, they don't have any power or leverage to charge different prices. So I am drawing a horizontal demand curve like this. So this is demand curve, also marginal revenue curve, also average revenue, right? And this demand is at exactly at $20. Same. Now, so each firm is facing this demand curve from the consumers. How many units this one firm should produce? It depends on its marginal cost curve. So let me draw marginal cost curve. So suppose I draw marginal cost curve like this. It's a U-shaped curve. And I apologize for my drawing because it's very difficult to draw diagrams on this on my laptop screen where the screen itself is also moving flexible. So it's not fixed basically. So marginal cost, I've drawn marginal cost here. You know the rule, price equals marginal cost is the level of production. So I know that this firm must produce at this point where marginal cost intersects the demand curve or marginal revenue curve from the bottom. Okay, that is marginal cost must be increasing. So I just mark this point as, suppose this is 6 units. Now briefly I can see this diagram and tell you a number of things. Number one, total industry output is 600. Number two, one specific or typical farm is producing 6 units. The market price is $20. I know there are 100 farms in this industry. Why? Because 600 is the total output and each farm is producing 6. So 600 divided by 6 gives you 100. So there are 100 farms in this industry. But right now with this diagram, I don't know whether all these farms are making profits or are incurring losses. I don't know. How do I know? I will have to draw average total cost curve as well in order to find whether this farm is making profits. So suppose I am drawing average total cost curve in such a way so that this farm is earning profits. How? Like this. So see, this is how I'm going to. So this is average total cost curve. Okay, give me a second. I'm just coming back. Okay, thanks for waiting. So I've drawn average total cost curve. Notice that the relevant point is this 6 unit, right? This is my relevant point. This is the production. So at 6, you can see that average total cost curve, that is this point, is less than the price 20. I intentionally have drawn in this fashion so that this farm is making profits. Okay. Now, what is the profit? I'll give you numbers. So suppose if at 6 units of output, suppose this farm's average total cost is let's say 10. Let's say 10, or let's say 50. So 15 is the average cost when this firm produces 6 units of output. Price is $20. So the difference is 5. It means this firm is making money $5 per unit. And how many units? $6. So 5 times 6 is 30. So I know profit is 30. I can show this profit here like this. So this whole rectangle, the area of this rectangle is 5, that is height, times base, that is 6. 5 times 6, 30. So I know the firm is earning profit. Now, this is in the short run. What would happen in the long run? You know that I told you that under perfectly competitive market structure, firms can enter and exit the market easily, right? So there's no entry barriers. For example, if farmers are making more profit growing tomatoes, what would happen to those farmers who are growing corn or other vegetables or fruits? They might also, not in the short run, right? It's not possible that in 1 month you can just change the production process, but it takes time. Suppose in the next season, the farmers will decide to produce tomatoes instead of corn or other vegetables. Why? Because they see profits in this industry. So new farmers will enter into this industry. What would happen? When new farmers will enter into this industry, the supply curve will shift to the right, like this. So I shifted the supply curve to the right, because why it shifted to the right? Because more farms are actually entering um, this market. So supply curve will shift. But the question is, uh, will this supply curve continue to shift, and where it will stop? So when I shift the supply curve, which is, I know it's not the final destination of the new supply curve, but suppose if I shift the supply curve here, notice that this new supply curve will intersect demand curve at this point, and the equilibrium price will actually decrease from 20 to 18. So now you have 18 price. Are you getting my point? And this 18 price, 18 line intersect marginal cost not at 6 units, but let's say at slightly less unit, 5 units. See what is happening? When new firms are entering into this industry, the price of the product will decrease from 20 to 18. Each firm now, there are more firms now, each firm will produce less, that is 5. Let's write this number as well. So the new industry output would be, instead of 600, let's say this is 700. See what is happening? Now the total industry output is 700. Why? Because new firms have entered into this industry. So 700 is the overall production. But notice that each firm now are producing only 5 units instead of 6, because price has gone down. So total 140 firms are now in this market. So I know, if you remember, initially, let me use the same color so that you don't confuse. Initially, we had 100 firms, right? We had 100 firms. Now, because of this profit, 40 additional firms will enter. So now I have 140 firms. 140 firms. So 40 firms entered into this industry. But the problem is not solved yet, because if all these 140 firms are still making profits, you can see that price is now 18, but average total cost is still 50, is slightly lower, let's say somewhere here. So but still the firm, each firm is making profit. What will happen? new firm will continue to shift until the new price level will reach at the minimum of average total cost. So I don't want to draw the diagram and a diagram and superimpose here. That would be messy. So what I'm going to do, I will delete this since I'm recording. So you have in your record. Now I'm going to redraw this diagram once again and show you the final destination. So right now I draw real quick. So this is demand. This is supply. Sorry. This is 600, capital Q, price. This is firm's diagram. Price is 20, I know. 20 is this. I'm not writing marginal revenue and average revenue every time. This is $20, right? I draw marginal cost curve like this. This is the intersection point. This is 6. I know there are 100 firms. Okay. Now I draw average total cost curve. This is average total cost curve. And this is average cost curve like this. So this is, I told you 15. So this is the profit. Okay. So this is the profit. Now, what you will do when you see that, just give me a second. Now, I told you that new firm will enter. So when new firm will enter, the firms will continue to enter so that the new price level will be at this point here. See, this is at this point, minimum point, at the minimum of average total cost curve. So I'm drawing like this. See, so supply curve will shift to the right. It will continue to shift so that when the new equilibrium is reached, it must be correspond to the minimum of average total cost. Now notice that price is 15 or not 15, sorry. So let's say this is 14. So now price is 14. This is 14 price, but average total cost is also 14. So both are equal. Price is exactly equal to average total cost. What does this mean? It simply means that there's no profit. So profit will be dissipated because of the entry of new firms. And each firm is now producing at the minimum of ATC here. Let's take this 4. And let's take this total output is, let's say, 1200. So now see what happens. In the short run, when firms are earning profits, new firm will enter the industry, supply curve will shift to the right, price will decrease, and it will continue to decrease until it reaches the minimum of average total cost curve. At this point, there's no profit. When there's no profit, new firm will not enter in this industry. Why? Because there's no point, starting this business because there's no economic profit. And you can see that now, because of this entry, the total industry output is 12. Each firm is producing only 4. Why they are producing less? Because there are more firms. So they have less demand for their product. And also price has also gone down from 20 to 14. So there are only 4 units being produced by each firm. So 1200 divided by 4. 300. So 300 firms. Earlier it was 100. So 200 firm will enter in this industry. And the profit is gone. But remember, although there's no profit, but the question arises why these firms are producing if they are earning zero profit. When I say profit, I say economic profit. And I remember I said intentionally that the firm is earning zero economic profit. Remember when we talked about accounting profit and economic profit? Because although their profit is zero, but they have already included their opportunity cost, what you call implicit cost, in their total cost. So they are still technically making money. If they were earning profit, that profit is called abnormal profit. So yes, firms are not earning abnormal profit, they are earning normal profit, definitely. And that is why these firms are in the business and they are not exiting the market, because they are earning not abnormal but normal profit that is equal to their implicit cost. That is, if they had not been, these firms had not, or these producers had not been engaged in this business, they would have been making money that would exactly equal to this amount. So they are making money. That is why they continue to produce. The same analysis is for losses. Let me draw this diagram for you. So for losses, this is the diagram. Industry, demand, supply, output, price. Let me write price as 20, same price. Firm diagram, demand, marginal cost, 20 price. I don't know whether this firm is earning profit or losses. I have to draw average total cost curve. So I have drawn average total cost C above the price level like this. Notice that marginal cost intersects average total cost at its minimum. That's why I always pick minimum. But don't pick this minimum point. This is not the production point. Production point is here, 6 unit, 600. Okay. So at 6 unit, if you go up, you will be here. That is your average total cost, 100. Okay. So at 6 unit, if you go up, you will be here. That is your average total cost. Let's say this is 25. So this whole area, this is loss, because you are losing $5 on each unit. You are producing 6 units. So 6 times 5, 30. So basically, each firm is incurring a loss of $30. Okay. What would happen? These firms are incurring losses. So some of them will exit the market. Exit, not shut down. Shut down means in the short run they shut down for the time period. Now this is long run analysis. That is, in the long run, firm cannot continue to incur losses. So these firms will decide to exit the market, not shut down, exit the market. What would happen when these firms will exit the market? Supply curve will shift to the left. That is, there must be lower supply because there are less farmers in this industry. So supply will decrease. Okay. Let's say somewhere here. So supply will shift to the left. Up to what point? This equilibrium is such that it must be at this point, minimum of ATC, minimum point. So let's say price will increase from 20 to, let's say, 24. Why price is increasing? Because firms are exiting the market and therefore there's less firm. So supply will be less compared to demand. So price will slightly go up. So from 20, let's say, to 24. But remember, average total cost is not 25 anymore. Why? Because the production is somewhere here, 7. So each firm is now producing slightly more. Why each firm is producing slightly more? Because you must say that these firms were incurring losses. Why they are producing more? They are producing more because some of these firms have already exited the market. So therefore, they have more demand to meet. And price has also gone up from 20 to 24. So they are going to produce more. So each firm will produce 7 units, charges 24 price. But notice, 24 is also the average total cost. So price equal ATC. There's no profit, there's no loss. And therefore, the existing firm will not exit further. So this is long run equilibrium. Long run equilibrium, but you can see I can give you the numbers and you can easily see what is happening. So 600, let's say this is 300. Okay. So now you can see earlier, before the change, in the short run, 600 was the total industry output, 6 unit each. firms output. So there were 100 firms. Now 300 is the total output and 7 unit per firm. So 300 divided by 7 will give you number of firms. Okay, so 300 divided by 7. So this is equal to 42.8. So let's say 43, approximately equal to 43 firms. So see, 60 what 67 57 firms exited the market because of losses. So in the long run, because of the free entry and exit, because of this reason, each firm will be earning zero economic profit, not accounting profit, zero economic profit. These firms are earning, over earning, or will be earning normal profit in the long run, but not abnormal profit in the long run always. So, I just show you the whole mechanism, right? Now, if I draw a diagram that reflects or represents a long run situation, then the diagram would be like this. So this is the industry demand for the product, supply of all firms together. This is the output, let's say 600. This is the price, let's say $19, just fictitious number. And this is the demand curve, which is a horizontal line. This is also 19, marginal cost curve. And this is the intersection. Let's say this is uh, 5 units. And since this is a long run, so average total cost curve would be like this. See, same at the minimum. This is the minimum of ATC. So ATC is also 19. Price equal to 19. ATC is also equal to 19. Both are 19. What does this mean? It means profit equal to 0. If economic profit equals to 0, it means this is long run equilibrium. Why long run? Because even in the long run, new firm will not enter in this industry. And existing firms are already making normal profits. There's no incentive for them to exit the market. So it will stay there. So that is long run situation. Okay. Now, let me first go back to your PowerPoint slides and discuss the last topic of this chapter. That is chapter number 8. So let me first upload this file. Hold on, just give me a second. So let's take this. So I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, everything. So I've already drawn this diagram. You can see I've also drawn this diagram. This is the case where farms initially were incurring losses, and in the long run, there's no there are no losses, basically zero economic profit. And you'll see here that I've given you the whole transition, right? That initially what would happen, then firm will enter, all that stuff, right? So make sure you read. And I also wrote zero economic profit, right? Now we have 3 types of industry. One is called increasing cost industry, decreasing cost industry, and constant cost industry. I've given you examples as well. What is increasing cost industry? By increasing cost industry, I mean that if demand increases for the product over the time period, the price of this product is also increasing over the time period. That is the increasing cost industry. For example, gold and silver. Look at the price of gold 10 years ago and now. The price must be higher than 10 years ago. Why? Because the cost of production, the nature of the cost of production is such that when you increase the production of extracting more gold, then the price of resources and that is inputs will increase. Cost of production will increase. And of course, when cost of production will increase, price will also increase. So these types of goods are called are under increasing cost industry. So some industries are increasing cost industries, like basically these precious metals. Decreasing cost industry, exactly opposite. So I remember I bought a laptop 486, pretty old, 5 kilo weight, very low RAM, um, and it cost me 2000 US dollar back in 1995. And today, with $2,000, even I can buy a laptop with the same specification for $700. See, price has gone down. Why? Because of the technology. So basically, some products are such that if you produce on large scale, the cost of production will go down. And that is scaling. Remember in chapter 7, we talked about increasing returns to scale and decreasing returns to scale. So this is increasing returns to scale. As you produce more, your average total cost decreases. And of course, if your ATC, average total cost, or AC is decreasing, firms will charge lower prices. So that is why you have seen that in the long run, although the demand for the product is increasing, but prices are decreasing. One good example is personal computers and automobile parts, because of simply economies of scale. This is called decreasing cost industry. I remember I discussed this in chapter 7 as well. And then we have constant cost industry. In constant cost industry, the nature of the product is such that if you produce more, in case of gold, the price, the cost of production will increase. In case of computers, the cost of production will decrease. In this product, the cost of production doesn't change. For example, pencil industry. So pencil actually requires wood that is 0.0000000% of the total wood available in forest. So it's a very minimal cost. So even if you produce slightly more and more and more over the years, it will not impact cost of production. That we don't have now enough wood to produce a pencil, and therefore you have to pay higher prices for wood. That is not going to happen at least another 100 years. And therefore, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but in the long run, you have noticed it. Look at that. You just Google and see the price of a simple pencil. It's not increasing or it's not decreasing a lot, right? It's more or less the same. So, or cucumber, basically agricultural produce, normally very similar prices because of the nature of the product. So this is called constant cost industry. So let me summarize. By increasing cost industry, I mean if people demand that product more in the long run, the price of that product will increase in the long run. Decreasing cost industry is such an industry where if demand increases, that is, people demand more in the long run, not in the short run, with the passage of time in the long run, then the price of that product will start decreasing actually instead of increasing. Constant, same price, no change. Why? Because cost of production is not changing drastically. Okay. If you understand this, then I'm going to show you 3 diagrams for increasing, decreasing, and constant cost industry. In your textbook, the diagrams are very, what should I say? It's not 100% complete. The diagram doesn't show you the whole process, right? So that is a final diagram. So I'm going to show you the whole process, how we get that final curve. So let me show you, and I've already uploaded to your course website, my lecture notes. So if you go to lecture notes, Naved, on your course website and open chapter number 8 PDF file. Let me find, I think I have uploaded here as well. Yeah, chapter 8 PDF file. So if I go here, so this is basically chapter number 8. Okay. Now you don't have to, if you have difficulty reading my handwriting, you don't have to. This is not mandatory. This is just an additional information, right? So characteristics, everything I have done here, right? This is demand, marginal revenue, average revenue. I have drawn all these curves as well, profit, loss, everything. Uh, this is the diagram that I've drawn in this session, right? Remember the first diagram where I showed that each firm is earning profits, new firm will enter, supply curve will shift to the right. Similarly, for the loss cases, I also have drawn this diagram. So now this is the first diagram for constant cost industry. By constant cost industry, I mean the cost of production is not increasing despite increase in demand over time. So let me discuss this diagram. Once you understand this diagram, the other two diagrams are similar to understand. So why I'm showing you this already drawn diagram, because it's difficult to draw this diagram on the computer screen. So initially assume that this is, which I'm now doing this, suppose this is the initial supply curve and this is initial, this is the demand and supply curve, and you know that this is the demand curve and this is the output. See, the average total cost curve is also at the minimum at this point. See this point. So this is already in the long run. So I have drawn a diagram that is already in the long run. Firms are not earning abnormal profit. There is no incentive for new firms to enter this industry. And that is why I cannot shift supply curve either to the right or to the left, because there's no entry and exit right now. Profit is zero. But what happens if in the long run people start demanding this product more? What would happen? So I shifted the demand curve and I'm changing the color just for your understanding, and also decreasing the font size slightly, reduce the font size. So see what happens in this initial diagram. What I've done, I shifted first demand curve to the right. See why I shifted demand curve? That I'm assuming that support people are demanding more this product. Of course, in the long run, what would happen? The moment demand increases, notice price will increase. See, this is the price. Price will increase. The moment price will increase, I'm not going to show the diagram what would happen in the from the firm side, right? But I know that when price increases, new firm will enter in this industry because there's more profit. Because now price is more than average total cost, and therefore the profit firms will start earning profits. Why? Because we are demanding more. So there's more demand, price has gone up, and therefore there are profits, additional profits margin. Because of this additional profit, new firms will enter once again. And when new firms will enter, so I shift the supply curve to the right, like this. But the question is, why I have shifted supply curve only to this level? Why not to further to the right or to the left of this new supply curve? Why exactly this position? Because I know when supplier, that is firms, enter this industry, so they are producing this product, right? When they are producing this product, they need more inputs. When they require more inputs, the nature of this product is such that cost of production will not increase. So marginal cost and average total cost will not change. And you can see I haven't shifted ATC and MC curve at all. So when new firm will enter, nothing will change. But as I shift supply curve, the price will start decreasing, and you can see it will eventually come to the same original price. That was before the increase in demand. Why to the original price? Because there's no increase in cost of production. So firms don't mind charging this price as well, because cost curve hasn't changed, and therefore they once again reach to the same level of output. Okay. Now I write number and then I ask you a question and then answer as well. So instead of QPC, that is production, suppose if I write 6. Here initially I write 600, and now I write, let's say, 1200. See what is happening. Initially, this industry is producing 600 units of this output total. Each firm is producing 6 units. Price is, let's assume price is $20. Okay. Now people start consuming or demanding more of this product. So demand curve will shift to the right. This will increase the profit margins. New firms will enter this industry, and this entry of new firm will continue until the price will come down to the original price 20. What would happen? In constant cost industry, the size of each firm will still be the same. After this whole process, each firm is still producing 6 units. No change in firm's production. But see what is happening from the industry side. In industry, when there's a huge demand and when new firms enter in this industry, total industry output increases to 1200 from 600 to 1200. But each firm is still producing 6 units. So 1200 industry output increases to 1200 from 600 to 1200. But each firm is still producing 6 units. So 1200 divided by 6 is 200. So basically 100 additional firm 100 additional firm will enter this industry. Why? Because of increased demand. But despite increasing 100 firms, despite increasing more production from 600 to 1200, price doesn't change. Price is still $20. This is an example of pencil, that people are demanding more pencil, but price is the same. Why? This is because of this is the reason that cost of production is not changing drastically. Now, if I join these 2 points together, that is these 2 points. So let me join these 2 points. First, this point, this is the first equilibrium, initial. And after the shifting of demand and supply both, we reach to this new equilibrium. Notice that these 2 points are on the same line. So this line, this horizontal line, is called long run supply curve. Short run supply curve is upward sloping, long run supply curve is horizontal. That is, the whole industry is producing from 600 to 1200, right? But notice, price hasn't changed. That is, in the long run, these firms are willing to supply as much as possible at the same price. That is the meaning of horizontal supply curve. This is not demand curve, this is supply curve. Under perfect competition, each firm is facing this horizontal demand curve. That is why I wrote demand. This is supply for the whole industry in the long run, not in the short run. In the short run, this is the supply. In the long run, this is the supply. That is, if demand increases, supply will increase, but without impacting price. That is called constant cost industry. Now, let's take the diagram for decreasing cost industry, such as computers, personal computers. That is, demand is increasing for those products and cost of production is actually decreasing, and therefore price will also decrease. So you have noticed that if you look at the price of these laptops over the last 20 years, price has actually gone down. Even if price has not gone down, then quality must have gone up as well. So look at this diagram. What I've done, exactly same thing, but it's more complicated. Number one, so let me mark here all these marking, and then you should be able to understand this. So initial, I can mark initial supply. This is the initial supply curve. This is the initial demand curve. This is the equilibrium. This point is the equilibrium point, right? Initial equilibrium, long run. Now demand increases, so you can see I shifted the demand curve. This is the new demand curve, right? I shifted the demand curve. Then I shifted the supply curve. Why? Because when demand shifts to the right, price increases, profit margin will increase, new firm will enter. When new firm will enter in this market, so supply will shift to the right. The question is, from up to what point should I shift this supply curve? So when new firm will enter, when production will increase of this product, cost of production at the same time decreases, because this is decreasing cost industry or increasing returns to scale industry. So notice I have shifted marginal cost and average cost curve, although I did not mention should have. So I will do here. So basically this is hold on a second. This is new marginal cost and this is new average cost, right? So initially marginal cost was this. I shifted marginal cost downward. Average cost is this. I shifted average cost curve downward. Okay. So both curve I shifted downward. What happens? Let me erase this so that I can explain. I'm sorry. So if I shift these MC and ATC curve downward, then this supply curve will continue to shift so that the new intersection point between new supply curve and new demand curve, that is this point, must be the minimum of new average total cost curve. Not this average total cost curve, but this average total cost. This is slightly lower than the actual price. So notice price has gone down. If it is 12, now it is $18. Why price has gone down? Because the cost of production has gone down as well. And notice that each firm is producing slightly more because this is the firm's production point. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I will just leave the, okay, first let me take numbers. Let me take number and then show you one thing. So first let's write this. Suppose, and these are all fictitious number, right? I'm just making up. So let's say this is 6, this is 7, this equilibrium is, let's say, 600, and this equilibrium is, let's say, just give me a second. What number should I write? 700. Okay. So let's write. I don't know. Just give me a second. I want to write a number so that I get the exact answer. Are you getting my point? So exact answer. I need exact answer. So I think I should write. Okay, I should write 840. So let me erase this. Let me erase this. So this is, of course, greater than 600. Any number greater than 600. But since these are just made up numbers, so I just want to make sure that I get the whole number answer. Now see what is happening. Initially, without the change in demand and then corresponding supply and then the shift in the cost curves, equilibrium price was 20. Each firm was charging $20. Each firm is producing 6 units. The total industry output is 600 and there are 100 firms. When demand increases for this product, supply will also increase. New firm will enter this industry and cost of production decreases. So now each firm, since cost of production has gone down, will produce more units, 6 units. When your cost of production decreases, your profit margin increases, so you produce more. And that is why this firm is now, each firm is now producing 7 units instead of 6. And since new firms enter this industry, so total output has gone up also to 840. So if you divide 840 by 7, so you get what? You get 120. So initially there were 100 firms. Now you have 120 firms. But notice, although there are more firms, but each firm is also producing slightly higher level of output. Remember this, because if I go back to a constant cost industry, notice in constant cost industry, yes, total industry output increases, but each firm is still producing the same. Yes, we have more firms. In the decreasing cost industry, we have more production, we have more number of firms, and each firm is also producing more. Okay. And finally, I'm sorry. So the last thing I forgot, let me first erase this and then I'll. So if I join the two equilibrium points like this, so this is your initial equilibrium point and this is your new equilibrium point. If I join this, these are not on the straight horizontal line, right? So this is on the straight downward sloping line. So long run supply curve is a downward sloping supply curve. What does this mean? It means as demand increases and more production, new firm will enter into this industry, then suppliers are willing to supply more even if prices are decreasing. That is, if price decreases, you have more supply. Why? because of the nature of the product, that if they produce more, their cost of production will be lower. And that is why they are producing more and supplying more. For the increasing cost industry, cost will increase if you produce more, like gold and silver. So I don't have to explain this, but one thing you should notice that in the decreasing cost, increasing cost industry, although the diagram, I think I have written somewhere. Okay, I will read this. Maybe it's here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So see what is happening. Demand shifts rightward because now suppose there's more demand. Price will increase, profit will increase. When profit will increase, this increase in profit will attract new firms. So new firms enter this industry. Cost of production will also increase at the same time because of the nature of the product. So if you are selling gold, it costs you more, right? So to extract, or oil, whatever. So cost of production will increase. Marginal cost, average total cost shifts upward. And price decreases, but is still above the initial level. So price level will decrease definitely when new firms will enter, when the supply curve shifts here to the right. Yes, price will decrease from here to here, but not to the original or initial price. It will stop somewhere above this level. That is here. That is here. Okay. So number of firms will increase. This is called increasing cost industry. Let me see if I am miss no. Hold on a second. I missed one thing. I think I have. Okay, hold. Yeah. So uh, this is decreasing cost industry, and this is increasing cost industry. So what I've done, although I've drawn this diagram in such a way it's difficult to read, and you can check on Google as well. In your textbook, this diagram is not drawn, unfortunately. If you notice here that I know that this is the initial equilibrium point. Hold on. This is the initial equilibrium point. And because of the increase in demand, yes, more firm will enter and the production will definitely increase. So total industry output will decrease. Number of firms will, will definitely increase as well. Why? Because you can see if you shift the curve, ATC curve, this is a new curve. Let me write, this is a new MC curve and this is new ATC curve. So both curves are shifting upward. So if you shift the curve, right, it means cost of production is increasing. So each firm will produce less because cost of production is increasing. So less means that your new production level would be here, not somewhere here. So each firm's output will decrease slightly. But overall industry output will increase. How come? Simply because of more firms in the industry. It is possible. It is possible that suppose if there are 600 total production, 100 firms, it means each firm is producing 6 units. If each firm is producing only 5 units, it is possible that industry output is more than 600 if you have more than 200 firms. So that is possible. Okay. I think let me, okay, I will take you to the PowerPoint slide and then I will complete this session. So let me take you to PowerPoint slide, chapter number 8, and I will show you the last slide. Just give me a second. It will take a few seconds to upload the file. Yeah, hold on. No. Okay. So, okay, in my Blackboard presentation, I have not attached that file that is there on your course website. So on your course website, last slide will give you. Let me see if I can show you from here. Just give me a second, okay? Just give me a sec, and I will. Hold on a second. I'm just sharing my screen and show you the the file. So just give me a second. Chapter number 8. This is the file, I believe. Yeah. Let me open this file and then I'll share with you. You know what I'm talking about. It will take few seconds to upload the file. So just give me a second. Right? Okay. So this is there. Now let me share this with you. Okay, let me go to here. Just give me a second. I will share my screen. Share my screen. Just give me. So this is a file, and okay, now I'm sharing my screen. You can see, and so okay, can you see this? So this is the last slide you can see, and so okay, can you see this? So this is the last slide that I have not included in my presentation. So in the long run, increases in demand increases supply. So if this increases cost, long run supply slopes upward. If this decreases cost, long run supply slopes down. If cost remain unchanged, long run supply is flat. So notice here that they have drawn diagram in this. They haven't shown that how this diagram is derived through the shifting of both demand and supply curve, and at the same time show the firms diagram. So these are all these three diagrams are industry diagram only, right? And you can see the first diagram is increasing cost industry, where the long run supply curve is upward sloping. That is, if they produce more, they charge you more. Why? Because cost of production is also increasing. Then the middle diagram, the second diagram from the left, is decreasing long run supply curve. That is downward sloping long run supply curve. This is called decreasing cost industry. By decreasing cost industry, I mean that as the whole industry, all firms together produce more, the cost of production will decrease, and therefore they'll charge you lower prices. Constant cost industry, by constant cost industry mean if you have more firms in the industry, it will not impact on cost of production, and there's no change in the price level. So that is all as far as chapter number 8 is concerned.